Man, they real man, not with the gay shit. You niggas sick and gross me out, transforming into a bitch. I don't want that dirty pussy, little mama. I ain't spending no a trick. Don't need you to put me on, I put myself on. Just came up on another lick. Bills paid, belly full, in lack for nothing. Nigga, do me, stay in my lane. Fuck tryna be another nigga with nothing. Brainwashed and continue lied to our social media. Censor everything real good into destruction.
President Trump, will you come speak to us, President Trump?
And it's going to cause more anger among Muslims around the world.
There's plenty of anger right now. How can you have more?
You don't think it'll exacerbate the problem?
David, I mean, I know you're a sophisticated guy. The world is a mess. The world is as angry as it gets. Well, you think this is going to cause a little more anger? The world is an angry place. All of this has happened. We went into Iraq. We shouldn't have gone into Iraq. We shouldn't have gotten out the way we got out. The world is a total mess. The world is a mess, David. So here we are now. It's where we were today, in a city that was so great just 4 or 5 years ago. But now we're there. Spent time there today, as you possibly read, with a local failed district attorney charging a former president of the United States for the first time in history on a basis that every single pundit and legal analyst said, there is no case. There's no case. They kept saying, there's no case.
But you've had me throw a lot of things away that I really loved. At long last, I'm Mr. Plow. I was thinking we might want to save my 2014 Joke-A-Day calendar, because the calendar's the same in the year 2031, and we're really going to need some laughs then, after World War China.
There is one thing of yours that's not giving us much joy anymore.
You know what's not giving me joy is a Japanese book. Maybe I am the world's greatest acrobat. USA! 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 Hey.
It's the rapture, Shauna. The rapture. The virtuous have gone to heaven, and the rest of us have been left below.
Left below? Where have I heard that? Well, till then next week! Spend your children's college fund! Thaw that turkey now! It's the end of the world! God loves you! He's gonna kill you!
Look! What's happening?
The rapture. Turns out there is a God.
The Earth is channel 23, I think.
What's WROL?
It means without the rule of law. Anarchy. The end of civilization. Coming soon to an America near you.
America can't collapse. We're as powerful as ancient Rome.
Homer, meet the Springfield Preppers. What would you do in the case of an EMP?
Electromagnetic pulse.
A burst of radiation that knocks out every electrical system in the country.
Impending doom.
What you reading, Dad?
Honey, everything's fine. There's nothing to worry about.
When things go south, the sheeple will clean out every supermarket in town.
Typical sheeple. So, what have you learned so far from our post-apocalyptic movie marathon?
Guys who call themselves preacher or deacon are very bad. Water is money, unless gasoline is money, and even though lots of things are razor sharp, no one ever shaves.
Hollywood has taught you well, my son.
Here it is, Homer. The Springfield Preppers' top-secret bug-out retreat.
Wow! Your end of the world is better than my during the world.
Homer, we all know America's collapse is about 3 months away.
6 weeks at most.
There's always one alarmist. Anyway, when the 4 horsemen ride, we want you and your collaterals right here with us.
Hidden all our supplies behind a fake wall.
thought the basement looked cleaner.
See? These are our bug-out bags. In here, it's everything we need to survive.
Survive what?
The looming kablooey.
It's reassuring to see you're aware of the future, but this is all a little creepy.
Creepy? Marge, the apocalypse is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe never. But it's coming. And soon.
I'm going to bed.
An EMP?
You know what that means?
Hand scissors.
I'm hungry.
Look, you can have potato chips now, or if you wait 10 minutes, you can have all the brains you can
For the people who work numbers, I am giving you free advice that those of you who are holding dollars, you surely might go into losses. You better do what you must do, because this market is going to be different in a couple of weeks.
The very delicate life support systems of the planet, the things that supply us with all of our food, ultimately with all of our oxygen, with all of our waste disposal, are now severely threatened.
Stanford biologist Paul Ehrlich warned on The Tonight Show 40 years ago we were overtaxing our planet's ability to support us. He and physicist John Holdren developed a formula called IPAT. The essence of the IPAT formula is that human impact on the Earth equals population times average per capita consumption. About the time Ehrlich was publishing The Population Bomb, a group of MIT scientists were undertaking a groundbreaking study for the Club of Rome.
We put together a team of 16 scientists, spent 2 years trying to understand better the longer-term causes and consequences of growth in population, industry, food production, and so forth.
In 1972, release of the Limits to Growth study made headlines.
From a very large number of computer runs, making various assumptions, adopting various maxima and minima, there is in fact a general forecast of a breakdown of world society in the first decades of the next century.
Results showed the growth in prosperity and population and so forth, which most of us had come to take for granted in the 70s, didn't have long to run. Our computer-generated scenarios all showed this growth stopping in the early decades of the 21st century. And I must say, looking back now, it seems that we're right on schedule.
In an empty world, it was a safe bet that growth was making us richer. But we no longer live in an empty world. We live in a full world.
Once the costs of that growth, things like pollution and crowding and all of the negative aspects of growth exceed the benefits, then we could refer to that as uneconomic growth, and something that is no longer increases the welfare, the prosperity of society.
Russia leads BRICS in working to create new currency. The emerging markets created by Goldman Sachs economist Jim O'Neill, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, BRICS, are reportedly working on developing a new form of currency. A top Russian official hinted that the new development is expected to be discussed at the next BRICS Leaders Summit, Bitcoin.com said on Sunday. The transition to settlements in national currencies is the first step. The next one is to provide the circulation of a digital or any other form of a fundamentally new currency in the nearest future. The deputy chairman of the Russian State Duma, Alexander Babakov, was quoted as saying, "So this is where we are today, in the beginning of sorrows. How much we'll see before the catching up? Only Lord knows. We're at the very end of the church age, so be encouraged because your redemption draweth nigh. Make the best out of your time until we finally meet Jesus Christ. It's going to be wonderful. We have a great comfort and hope which the lost world cannot receive."
Is Is the United States dollar under threat? Well, the U.S. dollar became the backbone of the global economy after World War II because of America's robust economy, its democracy, and its transparent regulatory systems, which made the nation seem like a safe place for international investors. But now the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have announced plans to develop a new currency. Their goal is to reduce reliance on the U.S. dollar and other Western currencies as well, and protect themselves from international pressure. In fact, Brazil and China have already struck a deal to bypass the dollar when paying for trade goods, which is a major milestone in Beijing's long-term plans to establish its own currency, the yuan, as the dominant international currency. So, what will this new currency look like, and what will it mean for the dollar?
And guys, I'm sorry for using clickbait with Trump, but I had to grab your attention somehow. Trump is not the biggest story here. He's just a distraction. The biggest story is the BRICS alliance and their new currency.
China, 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 China. I have to have my China. China, China, because China, 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 China. China, 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 and you know China, 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 South China, China, China. People say, oh, you don't like China. I like China. China. I love China. China. China all the time.
Nigeria on Monday became the first African nation to launch a digital currency, the e-Naira. It says the move will expand access to banking and help grow the economy by billions of dollars. Africa's biggest economy joins the Bahamas, which was the first to launch a general-purpose central bank digital currency. But experts say questions remain about the e-Naira, particularly over the consistency of the central bank's rules. The bank says 33 lenders, 2,000 customers and 120 merchants had already registered with the platform, which is available via an app on Apple and Android. And President Muhammadu Buhari said use of the currency could grow the economy by $29 billion over 10 years. Nigeria's young, tech-savvy population have eagerly adopted digital currencies, but official digital currencies, unlike cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, are backed and controlled by the central bank. Some say the central bank has not yet made clear whether users could transfer Naira to traditional Naira, or whether they could use cryptocurrency to buy or sell the e-Naira.
Queues outside petrol stations and outside banks. Residents of Lagos wait for hours to get cash or fuel, but neither are guaranteed. Ahead of the elections, Nigeria's economy is facing two major crises. The first, a cash shortage sparked by the replacement of paper notes with newly redesigned ones as the nation hopes to curb money laundering. In spite of a January 31st deadline, banks don't have enough new currency to swap for the old notes which residents are handing in. A crisis which has left people cashless and has forced businesses to close.
The ATMs are not working. Even when you walk into the bank, they will tell you they are not giving out that money, that they don't have the cash, the new notes. So it seems as if this is the only bank that is dispensing money.
The deadline for handing in old notes has been pushed back to February 10th. Petrol shortages are also plaguing the country. Nigeria is Africa's biggest crude producer, yet relies on oil imports to meet local demand due to refineries operating below their capacity. Outside this petrol station, frustrated drivers get into a fight as they wait the entire day with no certainty of getting fuel.
This is what we see every day, and I have to bring my children to school here every day, and this is what happens.
Less than a month before voting day, and frustrations are growing across the country, especially since the annual inflation rose over 21% at the turn of the year.
The MP, Dominic Tarczynski, promised us an interview, but like other government figures we approached after the rally, he proved unavailable. In the days before coronavirus stopped the world, Poland hosted Europe's biggest far-right rally. It was a call for a new crusade, for God, honour and fatherland. The rally leader, Robert Bąkiewicz, is on a quest to build a pure Catholic state.
Bóg, honor I ojczyzna! Bóg, honor I ojczyzna!
Wiecie, czego oni się boją? Tego się boją! Tego się boją! Marksiści, lewacy! Tego się boją! Patrzcie! Zwyciężymy jeszcze raz! Ave! Ave! Chrystus Rex!
I've come here to see how religion is being weaponized in a fight for power. It's a country where nationalists equate Catholicism with white Polish identity, where church and state have grown unsettlingly close to reshape society.